And why is software for streamers and content creators so bad? Every day it's another like thing I use, piece of software, like not working or breaking. I think that's not gonna work. I do seriously want to make a better chat application. It's it can't be that hard. Is what I keep thinking. To combine YouTube chat and Twitch chat. Only Chatterino has YouTube chat. Might give streamer.bot a try. This one seems promising. I did kind of download them before, but everything is either too simple or it's too overkill. Too much. It's like overkill. let's get started. Yo, yo, yo. Going, everybody? New branding again. This is more of a final form. I kind of found what I was going for. um but this week, oh jeez, this week we have GDC, Game Developers Conference, and we have Nvidia's GTC, which I don't know what it stands for. But it's just like Nvidia's conference. So tomorrow is the keynote, Jensen Huang's keynote, which we'll watch. I think it's at 9:40 a.m. or something. So we have that, and then I think Wednesday is a GDC type of keynote thing. And I've been trying to find some coverage, but there's not like anything explicitly public, so we're just kind of browse today and see what we could find. I have a few things that are like I'm pretty sure are launched. Stuff that like for GDC, but yeah, anyways. And then and we'll cover this interesting story about Europe. Jesus. When to rely less on United States. So much noise going outside right now. And a few other stories, so yeah. And then we'll probably end with some games or something today. And I'm going to be streaming longer. 9, 10, 11 through 12. Just because I want to stream longer, give more people a chance to find the stream, and I just want to probably play some games. Okay, let's start off with this. Oh, and I have this corporate espionage story. Which I hope more comes from it, because this is like it sounds interesting. I don't know. Very cyberpunky, right up my alley. Okay. And hopefully, I got a new webcam, so no more freezing. Oh my, I'm so sick of that. So sick of that. Okay, let's just get started. Let's cover some we'll cover some tech news, and then we'll get into some GDC stuff. Let me do some organizing here at the tabs. Yeah, and we have a story about Discord too, which is actually I'm interested. Okay, it's probably good. Also, I eventually want it, so I wanted to show my tab or like this story we're covering automatically in like on OBS, but I'm not sure how to get that yet, or how to do that. I'll probably have to code it. I'll have to code it. All right. Euro techies call for sovereign fund to escape Uncle Sam's digital death grips. Such a good title. The Register always has good titles, though. Euro techies call for sovereign fund to escape Uncle Sam's digital death grip. Nearly 100 orgs plead for homegrown lifeline amid geopolitical tensions. Yeah. So I guess some obvious context, maybe not obvious, but just some more context. This is, it says techies here, but I think it's also for like regarding defense. And I think it's, you know, as the United States under Trump now is kind of flip-flopping, to say the least, I guess. I'm trying to think of something funnier to say, but like, yeah. Flip-flopping. What am I trying to say? One day. Yeah, as we're flip-flopping and as tariffs are being put onto Europe, and also as, you know, now Russia kind of has this pressure, is kind of putting this pressure on Europe. And with, you know, I think it's mainly just because of how Trump is taking this more isolationist standpoint. Even though everyone in Europe, or at least most people, are part of NATO, with Trump, you know, he's unpredictable. We don't know if they're actually going to have their back, if they're going to send help when needed, because right now it's kind of like, you know, everyone's sticking middle fingers to each other and it's not really being too productive. So, and especially with AI now, I think too, you know, we need, not we, but Europe is kind of just like been under, you know, America's wing for a little bit. And now that Trump is here and is kind of just like taking this, you know, Reagan mentality of peace through strength, and, you know, not being America not being the world police, I guess, whatever you think of that. Europe needs to figure some things out on their own, it seems like, and they are calling for I don't even know. I guess we'll find out, but I don't know who. I guess the European Union. They must be like pointing this towards. A group of technology companies and lobbyists want the European Commission to take action to reduce the region's reliance on foreign-owned digital services and infrastructure. Is the European Commission the head of the European Union? Executive branch of the European Union. Yep, okay. I actually didn't know that. In an open letter to the European Commission, President Ursula von der Leyen and Executive Vice President for Tech Sovereignty Henna Virkkunen, like Harkonnen, the group of nearly 100 organizations proposed the creation of a sovereign infrastructure fund to invest in key technology and lessen dependence on U.S. corporations. The letter points to recent events, including the farcical Munich Security Conference, as a sign of the stark geopolitical reality Europe is now facing, and says that building strategic autonomy in key sectors is now an urgent imperative for European countries. Yeah. I think this is it. It's a bit of a wake-up call, you know. I'm not saying it's good or bad, though, I guess. Like, you know, I don't know. I generally think what Trump's doing is bad. But I guess, like, for, like, I think it, like, probably is fine for Europe to, like, realize, like, fuck, yeah, maybe we should, like, not be rely on this country that is gonna throw us under the bus. I think that's probably a good realization to wake up to, maybe. Or at least, like, just, you know, have some infrastructure that is not the US. Signatories include aerospace giants Airbus, France's Dassault Systems, European cloud provider OVH Cloud, chip designer SiPearl, open source biz Nextcloud. Oh, I didn't even realize Nextcloud was European. And a host of other including organizations such as European Startup Network. Proposals include the Sovereign Infrastructure Fund, which would be able to support public investment, especially in capital-intensive sectors like semiconductors, with significant additional commitment of funds allocated and or underwritten by the European Investment Bank and National Bank of Funding bodies. So they want the European Bank to kind of back them, like underwrite them. Yeah, this is interesting, I guess, because do they want are the companies going to put up money? They're just going to give it to the European Commission and they're going to distribute it how they see fit? Or is the European Union going to put up the money, or at least some? It also suggests there could be a formal requirement for the public sector to buy European and source their IT requirements from European-led and assembled solutions, while recognizing that these may involve complex supply chains with foreign components. Yeah. So this is interesting. I guess like a formal requirement, i.e. like a law or something saying that you have to get a certain percentage maybe from Europe. That would be interesting. Or maybe like you get like a tax cut or something if you do this. That would be probably better. Because like you don't want to force making it a requirement, like, is a little weird. The letter warns that the region has great talent and capabilities in the digital space. Issues such as structural fragmentation, as described in the Draghi report on EU competitiveness, have led to the region falling significantly behind the US and China in many areas. Yeah, and unfortunately, part of that is regulation. The EU just there's so much regulation, lots of hoops to get jumped through just to get started, like starting businesses and such. That is definitely a thing. Even, Biden era, like the EU is just so much more regulated than what the United States does. Even though people in the United States thinks that we have a lot of regulation, we actually have like one of the least, like in the world in general. And we pay the least amount of taxes. Not that that's relevant, but usually the people who think one thing are also the people who think the other. Or they just hate taxes. It's like, we actually have the least of both. This has led to tech dependencies that represent security and reliability risks that compromise our sovereignty, the group says, calling for action to address the problem. We call on your convening powers to mobilize industry to actively help coordinate and validate a contingent continent-wide strategy to power a European digital sovereign effort, the letter urges. Okay, so they just want them to... It seems like they probably want the incentives aligned to do things and build things or source things from Europe. That's what it kind of seems like. And it could include a fund. This isn't the first time the concerns about the U.S. hegemony in technology have been raised. Recently, the DARE project launched to develop hardware and software based on open RISC-V architecture, backed by Euro HPC JU funding. Don't know what this is. While fears have been aired about the dominance of American-owned cloud companies, the European market. We actually covered this early in the stream about how there's actually a coalition. There's actually some infighting between Google and Microsoft. Microsoft published a public blog post essentially calling out and shitting on Google for backing this coalition that was essentially just created by like lobbying groups, and that they just wanted to like take a stab at Microsoft, and Microsoft kind of called them out and says like, listen, like Google's behind this company even though they haven't publicly said it, and they want this even though this, kind of thing, and they call them out. So yeah, the cloud companies in American cloud companies in Europe are definitely like the leaders and have kind of caused a lot of drama. There's OVH, is big one. Hetzner is the other big one. Both of these are big European cloud companies. And I'm sure there's more. I just don't know. Such concerns have been heightened by recent actions, such as suggestions that U.S. might cut off access to Starlink internet services in Ukraine as a political bargaining strategy. Starlink owner Elon Musk later denied that this would ever happen. Letter notes that the issues have already been set out by the Eurostack initiative, made up of many of the companies that signed the letter to the EC president, von der Leyen. The register asked the European Commission to comment. On the other side of the pond, the Computer and Communications Industry Association recently published a report claiming that U.S. companies face substantial financial burdens due to the European Union's digital regulations. I mean, I don't know, like, stop them, don't break them. I mean, like, here's the deal. It seems very similar. The argument for doing business in Europe is very similar to that of the fees that Apple charges for the App Store. I'm just seeing the connection there. It says that the U.S. tech companies are losing billions through having to comply with regulations such as the Digital Markets Act. No. Okay, yeah. See, this is and having to obtain user consent for their data to be used for advertising purposes. This is like such a bad argument, though. Like, the Digital Markets Act is good for consumers. We'll just say that. And having to obtain user consent, it's not costing, or they're not losing billions. This is just the way that they have to do business. But also, what is so bad about this? It's like, this is good. Both of these are good for consumers. I wish the United States would be more explicit with this. I mean, it would never be under Trump now, but yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, okay. This is interesting. This is going to take a lot of time, likely, but I'm interested to see what comes out of this and how the European Commission responds. Because this would ideally be good for Europe, I think. Hey, it's like the building. Wonder where it's headed. Oh, Luxembourg. Oh yeah, Brussels, Luxembourg. What is this? I've never really looked into how the European Commission is or European Union is kind of governed. Literally can't believe the United Kingdom left this. That's insane. Okay, let's cover some other tech stories I have here. I have 2 more, and then we'll get into GDC coverage and Nvidia stuff. We covered CoreWeave on stream the other day about their IPO, and I thought this was it's interesting timing because there hasn't been many IPOs, and CoreWeave IPOing could be a good, bellwether, as they're saying, for showing interest in the future optimism about AI, especially in the stock market. Sorry, I just need to check. I need to check Red stock. Fuck. All right. How's the stock market doing today? Okay, it's a neutral day. Nvidia's down. Let me check portfolio. I honestly I probably shouldn't even look at my portfolio for like a few months or years. Today's a sideways day, pretty neutral. Except for my Roth. When is there's a Fed meeting, I think, here pretty soon. Yeah, okay, they're gonna release it Wednesday. I wish there's I need a better way to track all this. So it's a nice little viz. Bro, no way they're going to lower interest rates. Because I could see Trump. Okay, so like if they lower interest rates in response to tariffs, then Trump removes tariffs. That's what as a Fed official, that's what I would be afraid of, like reacting to things the president could do. I feel like that's what they want them to do, because Trump hates, at least Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve. He wants power over them to just lower interest rates. Okay, fuck it. Let me just read this article. I'm so sorry. The Federal Reserve is widely expected to hold interest rates steady when it meets this week, but investors will be watching for something else. Any sign that President Donald Trump's policies are changing the central bank's future expectation for the economy. The Fed's latest round of projections released Wednesday will include much of the study dot plot chart, a chart updated quarterly that shows each Fed official's prediction about the direction of the central bank's benchmark interest rate. That's so interesting. It shows like everyone else's prediction. The last dot plot released in December revealed a consensus among Fed officials for 2 cuts this year, revised down from 4 as some were already factoring President Trump's expected economic policies into their projections. Now that Trump is putting those policies into action, including an aggressive slate of tariffs, the question is whether central bank policymakers will tweak their outlook for economic growth and inflation, and thus the direction of rates. They could be more worried when they look at the growth trajectory of the economy and model out what they think those tariffs mean. Former Kansas City Fed President Esther George told Yahoo Finance. I have been seeing like murmurs, or hearing murmurs, this is a long read, we're not gonna read this whole thing, but of recession. And so I wonder like what that's gonna be like, if they're gonna even talk about that. Because previously he said that like they've kind of avoided a recession. But I do think Trump coming in really throws a hammer in things. Oh, wait, what's up? This is what I was afraid of. My chat, it was not working. Interface is cool, thank you. Yeah, I think they're going to stay put. I just don't think lowering them in reaction to Trump is the best thing to do. Markets are currently expecting 3 rate cuts this year. 3? In summer and in fall, due to in part to concerns that Trump's policies would hold down economic growth. The US stock market dropped 10% from its high set last month, partly due to these concerns, before recovering some of those losses Friday. Some Fed watchers are also worried about the inflationary effects of tariffs, arguing that the worst effects have not yet shown up in data. Yeah, I mean, we haven't really. I mean, the tariffs just like haven't really seen any effect. Let me. I don't have a working way to look at both YouTube and Twitch chat right now, and it's kind of been super annoying. Okay. Yeah, interesting, I guess. Yeah, Fed's 2% target. We're getting like it's dipping so much. But I think though I don't know, there's a lot to I feel like 3 rate cuts is just very optimistic. That's like too optimistic right now. Okay, there we go. I got my chat working. Okay, let's continue. side tangent. Oh yeah, CoreWeave. Yeah, this. Yeah, we're actually I'm not even gonna cover that story. Okay. Yeah, back to CoreWeave. We covered this the other day. This will be an interesting IPO just to show what the market potentially thinks of AI. Jesus Christ. I have smooth brain syndrome this morning. One cloud computing company is trying to cut through the economic noise to become a herald of the artificial intelligence IPO scene, despite a soft market and few attempts by competitors. Okay, wait. I'm just thinking about this now. This could be good. This could be okay, or it could be really bad, because CoreWeave has a fuck ton of debt. And we covered that a lot before. Like, there was like a very contentious point in that the like TechCrunch article, and that is not that just doesn't bode well, I guess. And I guess like Reddit is the best example. We just looked up the Reddit stock. Like, they didn't make money, and like they peaked, and they kind of like have gone down since, and I think it's going to kind of be very up and down like this. And I don't know, this just seems like these startups that they don't make money, they don't have profits, but they have high debts, and they might be growing fast, but ultimately, yeah, they just don't have any cash flow. Like, I don't know, that just doesn't seem like a good IPO, good time to IPO. Earlier this month, New Jersey-based CoreWeave filed with the U.S. Security Exchange Commission a plan to list on the public market. While CoreWeave hasn't disclosed its IPO date, the information reported it expects to list later this month. That's very soon. That's very super soon. CoreWeave attempts comes during a massive slump in the IPO market. In the last 3 years, the number of tech companies entering the public market hit decade lows, and while the overall IPO count crept upwards since 2022, it's far from the bustling activity that marked years prior. Tumbling U.S. stocks in recent weeks haven't instilled confidence in the market either. Major stock indices, including tech ETFs, are largely down on tariff and inflation concerns since President Donald Trump took office for the second time. Growth over profit is common now. With interest rates this high, I feel like you should not be focusing on growth, because growth is expensive right now because like money's expensive right now, I feel like, and so you'd want to focus on profits until interest rates go down. That video about death of capitalism explained why it's profitable for investors. Investors will lose money by the time the IPO happens, though. I need to watch that video. Lose money by the time the IPO happens. Number of tech companies that listed publicly per year. Holy shit. It's actually been like very down. Okay, thank you. CoreWeave, which calls itself an AI hyperscaler, rents out GPUs, CPUs, and other computing equipment to tech companies so they don't have to purchase and maintain their own. Its IPO would represent one of the first in recent years from a major company supporting the expansion of AI, making it a bellwether for both the tech industry and how the public markets perceive AI in the years ahead. Yeah, I just don't know. If this is a good indicator. Maybe they are, though. Cloud companies have actually kind of been... I wonder who else, like what the market is for renting out GPUs and such right now. It actually seems like it's pretty... Like these markets are like, they're like commodity markets. You know, like it's kind of a race to the bottom. And I just feel like they are going to slowly... While profit might, or while demand will increase, like they're gonna have to like over time make things cheaper and cheaper. I feel like. Like if we go here, like shoots, like how, like this is like how are they affording this? They're providing it for free. You know, it's like are they doing it just for advertising? Like I can't even see pricing on here. Anyways. Setback. There are a few recent tech IPO investors who can glean from when evaluating how CoreWeave might perform. British chip designer ARM listed in 2023 amid an IPO slump, raising 4.8 billion, 4.9 billion in the public offering, in the year's largest IPO and a promising sign of the times. ARM is now trading at more than double its original sales price. Social media company Reddit, which entered the public market last year, raised $750 million in its offering, another encouraging signal. Since the IPO, Reddit has announced data licensing agreements with OpenAI, and its stock is up 250% since launch. A little. It might have been, but it's not that much now. CoreWeave is reportedly looking to raise $4 billion at a $35 billion valuation. The year's other AI IPO candidates include customer service tool provider Genesis, analytics platform Databricks. Oh, Databricks is IPOing? This one is interesting. I feel like this is a better indicator than CoreWeave, because Databricks has just like they've raised. We looked at it the other day. It's like they've raised like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, or they're on like Series J or some shit like with their fundraising. They've run out of letters. And chipmaker Cerebrus. Oh, I didn't realize they are either. All three have reportedly delayed their IPO plans on market volatility for the former two, and Cerebrus's case, a delayed U.S. national security review of one of its investors. What the heck? The AI IPO market is still with the nascent in the nascent stage. It'll likely take a few years to establish a robust pipeline of newly public traded AI firms, especially a pipeline that some investors hope would include model heavyweights OpenAI and Anthropic, but these early listings can set the tone for how confident executives can be about their public market aspirations. Anthropic is a public benefit corporation. I don't even know if you could list. Can you list as on the stock market with that? Like legally, that seems like it'd be like conflict of interest, because public companies have a duty to their shareholders. Is that the same for like public benefit corporations? Not sure. But these days, early listings can set the tone for how confident executives can be about their public market aspirations. Okay, no more. One of the Corey's biggest risks is its IPO performance, is the lack of diversification in its customer base. Oh yes, Jesus Christ, how did I forget this? 62% of its $1.9 billion in revenue came from Microsoft. If Microsoft leaves, they lose, potentially 62% of their revenue. Like that right there, and on top of how much debt they have, like that just does not make for a good combo. Leaving it hugely exposed to the whims of one business. The Financial Times reported Microsoft recently pulled some of its commitments over delivery and deadline issues, though CoreWeave disputed that claim. Yeah, and we covered that on stream too. And that kind of came as everyone was, building out like these huge, or sharing these huge capital expenditures for data centers, and then Microsoft kind of went against that after saying that they're going to spend $80 billion, which that still might be the case, that they kind of rescinded some of these commitments. And so it was kind of like oh shit, like, is there like too much? Now are we overbuilding for cloud infrastructure data center stuff? Just this week, Corey added one more customer to its power header list after signing a 5-year, $111.9 billion contract to supply AI infrastructure to OpenAI. Yeah, and this is big for CoreWeave, though. If distributed evenly, CoreWeave's annual income from that deal would surpass its total 2024 revenue, which grew nearly 8-fold from 2023, largely on Microsoft's business. Room for disagreement. While a company's performance in its IPO can indicate where investors' sentiment is at, it's also one data point in a much larger story. Yeah, I think generally that's it. Also because there are existing companies for what CoreWeave does. I mean, they're just a data center. I don't know. Sent that timestamp? Okay, cool. We'll take a look right after this, actually. For example, Uber's stock market debut was largely seen as a disappointment due to profitability concerns and increased competition despite a booming market. Uber's performance wasn't necessarily indicative of the whole tech industry, with other companies, including Zoom and internet security provider Cloudflare, posting big gains in their IPO that same year. Yeah, and Cloudflare's another one. I actually own Cloudflare stock. I've held them for a while, but they super peaked overall. Like this COVID peak was insane, and I honestly bought it kind of like climbing up. I bought some like climbing up this. Like this peak was crazy, and they've since peaked a little bit, but yeah, they kind of are just very up and down. But it's because they aren't consistently profitable. They're showing a lot more growth though now, and they're showing a lot more actual paying customer growth. So I think that it's kind of making up for it. But yeah, it's like it's just a good example of like this. That's like Reddit already looks like this. It's like they've been on the market for like a year, and it's like they're already like this. We could check out Uber stock. I mean, this is essentially what Reddit did and Cloudflare did. But Uber's actually keeping their peak. Is Uber even profitable? Have they made money yet? But I don't. I think it's like interesting. The timing of startups IPOing is interesting, just because it is. I feel like it's very risky IPOing when you don't have profits. Like it just seems like it's just a lot harder. Like cash flow profits, you know. Okay. Let's watch this real quick. Also, I literally just watched this guy. He made a video about like Aphex Twin. He made this video and I watched this. Oh yeah, no audio. Okay. And it was really good. And then it was like, I don't know what it was, the timing that other video got recommended to me, but this was an interesting video too. So this guy's cool. Yeah, I'll subscribe to him.
Who wanted to start an online
Okay.
the great awkwardly socialist rebound of the stock market. In 1994, Jeff Bezos was a hedge fund manager
Professionals
who
here.
wanted to start an online bookstore, which was already a hard pitch at the time. Why would anybody want to buy books online when they could just go to the library? But it was even worse. He was allegedly transparent to his investors and told them that he intended to prioritize growth over profit for a very long time. All in all, he had 6
Bro, this is what I'm saying. Every single streamer piece of software I have always breaks. It's like now I'm getting degraded performance. Like the Streamlabs chat software wasn't working earlier. Now this one wasn't working.
60 meetings offering 1%
Anyways.
for $50,000, and the biggest investors were his parents buying up 6%. With 22 investors, Amazon.com got off the ground with $1 million. By 1999, Amazon was selling everything from books to DVDs to household goods to electronics, and soon after, the company transitioned from being a retailer to an online gateway for other retailers. Amazon customers could pay a low annual membership fee for unlimited free 2-day shipping, and both retailers and manufacturers began to become dependent on that convenience. Retailers weren't the only ones with a dependency problem. Here's 3 stats that will probably fuck up your whole day. By 2021, it was estimated that 60% of the US population were part of an Amazon Prime membership. It is now estimated that only 1% of Amazon Prime members compare prices with other online retailers. And incredibly, while Amazon refuses to...
Yeah, to be fair though, it's usually Amazon is the benchmark. So like for Target, for example, like they immediately like directly compare to Amazon.
Confirm this, there are thousands of reports of people finding examples where prices for the exact same products are higher for Amazon Prime subscribers. Does that sound like free market capitalism to you? Walmart had to resort to emulating Amazon's business model in an attempt to
That picture was great.
keep up. A decade ago, Amazon had surpassed Walmart's market cap, despite Walmart having over 10,000 massive theme park-sized stores worldwide. Walmart is far from the only company trying to mimic Amazon's growth and choke point strategy, and that's a vast understatement, as fast scaling and blitz scaling has become a normal game plan for startups. The definitions vary a little bit, but fast scaling generally means to prioritize growth initially with an open-ended plan to make a profit later. So, for example,
and this is the startup ethos, like this is what like the investors tell startups, like, you know, it's like they don't, in the beginning, like you shouldn't even be focusing on money because you just want to get the customer, you want to find product market fit, you know, like where you fit in the market. But this, like the ZERP years, as we've been kind of calling it, kind of enabled this though, because money was cheap. We've had, you know, pretty much zero to, you know, low interest for, you know, a decade post 2008 financial crisis. And so it's just been easy. And like now though, you know, money's like, I don't know, money seems more expensive because interest rates are higher. And so, you know, the startup scene slowed down a bit, and then it seems like now AI is kind of picking that back up, because you, like, as venture capitalists, you can't miss out on something like this. So it's like you have to spend money even though it might be expensive. I don't know.
If I wanted to fast scale a lemonade stand, I would make a pitch deck for venture capital investors that proposed selling lemonade at 50% of what it costs for me to make it. This would grow my customer base significantly and starve out the neighborhood children who I'd be competing with. And then once I disrupted the lemonade market successfully, I'd work out a volume deal with lemon plantations and lower my costs while slowly raising prices for the customers so a profit could be realized. Blitz scaling, on the other hand, is a lot more reckless and assertive. My VC proposal would...
Yeah, but the thing is though, now the old one makes it's harder to do now with interest rates so much higher though. So like there's definitely less people doing that.
To sell lemonade at half the cost, but buy out all of the neighborhood children for their stands. And then I'd buy some lemon plantations, and I'd pay $100 million to have the local football stadium renamed Ben's Lemonade Stadium.
This is what FTX did, except FTX was an actual pyramid scheme.
And every person in attendance would be given free lemonade if they downloaded my app. You may be asking how on earth that would ever make a profit, but we're going to figure that part out when we've dominated 80 to 90% of the lemonade market and have millions of lemonade drinkers. Right now, we just need to concentrate on disrupting. That probably still sounds like a terrible investment, but if you buy into the initial seed round of the investment, you'll have the opportunity to sell that equity at a premium in a Series A or Series B, or even better,
Yeah.
an IPO launch.
And so this gets into an even dumber issue where there's so like in the venture capitalists, you know, it's like sometimes there's firms, there's like that focus on specific rounds like this. And so like something a pre-seed or seed investor might care about, they might not even care that the company is going to make money, solve any problem, whatever. They might just care what this Series A and Series B or plus investor cares about, because ultimately that is their customer, the venture capitalist customer, because yeah, they just want to sell their equity or whatever to some, you know, other venture capitalists at a premium to kind of cash out or whatever, because that might have just been their goal all along, and they might not have actually even cared necessarily what, you know, you as a founder, you know, who they invested in. They just care that the next person that you're going to go to ask for, you know, money wants to actually fund you because they need them to fund you to make their money back, you know? Like I feel like that's where it kind of gets, you know, now the incentives are just like completely misaligned in that it gets all fuckety.
Launch when the company entered the stock market valued at, I don't know, $15 billion. To investors in this stage, it's much less about profit and more about a lucrative risky game of hot potato. An excellent example that we're all familiar with is Uber.
Yeah, but that hot potato analogy is like, that's a good way of like
proposing the disruption of the taxi cab industry. It's nearly delusional, claiming that a city's
good
medallion
analogy
for cabs is a monopoly, and that licensed cab drivers paying for the medallions have no accountability. In the future, digital taxi cab hailing can make, I guess, lifting up your hand unnecessary. And when they say luxury, they mean prestigious vehicles like used Priuses.
And this is also, I really just need to watch this whole video now because it's so interesting. This is also just with emerging technologies, you know, it's like you have to sell it like this and like be speculative about things to potentially get people to even like buy it, you know? And like you could just be lying. Like there's probably a good chance you're just lying.
And these Priuses driven by non-employees who sign up can be used to drop your kids off at school or transport the elderly. Uber has had over 25 rounds of funding that it has used to raw dog its way into the cab economy and pay for everything from lobbying local governments to settling hundreds of lawsuits. Naturally, once the traditional cab industry was more or less destroyed, the prices got jacked way up. And between 2018 and 2021, the average price for an Uber ride rose 92%. Those early pre-seed investors who unloaded equity when the company went public will obviously never have to work again. Public investors did not fare so well, and the great Uber IPO launch crash shit show made some of us think that maybe, finally, people are learning not to be bullish about companies that have an annual operating income of negative billions of dollars. And despite this, by 2019, the American stock market gained an impressive 30%. We're back, baby.
Okay. I don't want to react the whole thing. This is good though. I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch it after stream. But that was very, that was a good analogy of that. Yeah, there's one New Statesman. There's this video I watched. Peter Thiel's, I know I talk about Peter Thiel a lot, but he's kind of like the godfather of this like ZERP mentality. I'm not gonna be able to find it. It was like a year ago. I watched this video about this guy who kind of wrote about that in like how like Peter Thiel types are. What the fuck is this? It's the national conservatism. I don't know if I think I've talked about it before. Fuck me. I'm not gonna be able to find it. 2 more scrolls, and then we'll bounce. Yeah, no. Okay, I don't know. It was, I don't know, there's a video and he kind of explained this like mentality, kind of like the Andreessen Horowitz, Peter Thiel, like all these like tech, like the leader of the tech bros, like it kind of allowed them to get in, like the zero interest time period allowed them to get like a lot of power and money investing in venture capital, like via venture capital into startups. Just because the timing of kind of everything in the economy and like all that happened was just, the environment was just really good for them to like kind of just make a lot of money, I guess, and invest in startups, and kind of explain the more mentality and motivation behind them, and like, you know, what they think about like technology and like founders and startups, like, you know, how they're kind of like they just think they're better than everyone else essentially, and like they're kind of like this elite class in society. And yeah, I don't know, it was interesting. I definitely scrolled past it now, I just can't find it. Whatever. Okay. All right, let's look at this story, and then we'll do some GDC coverage here. But bro, this accusation of corporate espionage shake a software rivalry. Corporate espionage these are the kind of stories I like to cover. Cyberpunk. A lawsuit by Rippling accuses a top competitor, Deal, of placing a mole in its ranks, which it uncovered via a honeypot trap on Slack. Like, bro, what? I've heard of Rippling and Deal. Employees get more done with Rippling. Okay, yeah, they're like payroll, HR, general, like kind of B2B SaaS company. And I think Deal is like a sales more so or something. Okay, yeah, they do a lot too. So definitely competing. Spy accusations inflame an HR rivalry. One of the most bitter rivalries in the world of HR service providers just took a turn that wouldn't be out of place in a spy thriller. Rippling on Monday sued Deal, accusing its competitors of hiring a mole in its Dublin office to comb through Rippling's trade secrets, a scheme that revealed that reached its rivals' highest ranks. Dealbook's Michael de la Merced reports. Oh, Dealbook. That's this. Okay. I was like, huh? Rippling said it had uncovered the defector through a honeypot trap, a Slack channel set up specifically for the ruse that was mentioned in a letter to top Deal executives. We're all for healthy competition, but we won't tolerate when a competitor breaks the law, Vanessa Wu, Rippling's general counsel, said in a statement. This is honestly crazy because, like, you better be right. If you're coming out in public now and saying this, like, you have to be right. A Deal spokeswoman said in a statement, weeks after Rippling is accused of violating sanctions law in Russia and seeding falsehoods about Deal, Rippling is trying to shift the narrative with these sanctionalized claims. We deny all legal wrongdoing and look forward to asserting our counterclaims. What the fuck? Bro, I love corporate fighting like this. Like, come on. This is exactly like that Google Microsoft one I was talking about earlier. Now just fight it out in the battlefield. The backstory. Both companies have turned the seemingly humdrum business of human resources into a multi-billion-dollar operation. Rippling was most recently valued at $13.5 billion, according to the data provider PitchBook, while Deal was valued at more than $12 billion. Aggressiveness also runs in their DNA, especially at Rippling, whose co-founder and CEO, Parker Conrad, is known for an especially hard-charging managerial style. Hard-charging managerial style. Can't read that. The two have clashed repeatedly in recent years. Clashed repeatedly in recent years with Conrad barring former Rippling employees who decamped to Deal from participating in secondary stock sales. A Rippling investor is also tied to a lawsuit in Florida accusing Deal of violating Russian sanctions. Bro, what the fuck is this? But Deal just accused Rippling. Rippling is accused of violating sanctions in Russia. Yeah, they both have like such large Russian like customers. Rippling is now accusing Deal of perpetuating a brazen act of corporate theft. In the lawsuit, Rippling said that the employer it had accused of being a plant, referred to in the complaint as DS, started searching for mentions of Deal in its Slack messaging systems at an elevated rate starting in November. That's how they got caught? The goal, Rippling asserted, was to find information relating to sales leads involving Deal customers, pitch decks, and more. Interesting. This just seems, though, like not that good of a use. Like, if I'm going into a business to spy, it's sales leads? Is that what I go after? I go after sales leads. I guess there's a direct monetary cost to a sales lead, you know? Because, like, I guess what information would you want to know if you're going to infiltrate a corporation that you couldn't find public? Like, I wouldn't even know where to go, what to get. Like, maybe like you'd have to know some sort of like what their competitive advantage is going into it and like tie it around that. This is crazy. Rippling said it began to suspect a mole when Deal trying to hire at least 17 members of its global payroll operations team via WhatsApp, which requires knowing those people's phone numbers. And when a reporter for the information asked for comment about internal Slack messages relating to payments into Russia in violation of sanctions, a security review showed that DS had searched for those messages. Okay, so this is clear. Internal Slack messages about that could be sus, but that definitely could be an employee. There's nothing to say an employee, but then this kind of reveals a different story. Hiring people with their phone number, though, like that's, I don't know, that's not like super suspicious. So, okay, so I guess like I'm thinking about the logistics of committing corporate espionage. Let's just think about this. The person who's doing it, one, did Deal tell them? Like, how did it come up, and how are they okay with doing it, for one? How did Deal justify it to this employee? Two, if that's the case, did they then offer compensation? Or, like, are they still an employee of Deal? Like, hey, like, you'll still get your benefits. Like, don't worry. Don't worry, like, we'll still contribute to your 401k. Just, like, you just gotta go work for this company and then just, like, find this information. You could take the paycheck from the other company if you want to. Like, you know, like, how does that work? Also, I didn't even realize that, like, I bet you, since it's HR, like, security is probably a very high priority. I didn't even think about that, like, because I was like, bro, this is so crazy that, like, these security, like, all this stuff. But I guess if you are a HR company, you're dealing with, like, sensitive information, and, like, you can't, like, you know, need to silo data and stuff, like, that is important. That's crazy. Rippling said it had discovered correspondence between DS and Alex Buaz's Deal CEO and co-founder. Ooh. How Rippling said the scheme was uncovered. Earlier this month, Wu sent a letter to 3 people, including Philip Buaz's. Who's Wu? Is that the lawyer? Vanessa Wu, Rippling's general counsel. Okay, right. Deal's chairman and CFO and father of Alex Buaz's. Wait. Rippling said it discovered correspondence between DS. Okay. I see. So DS, the person who worked at Rippling, and the founder or the CEO and co-founder of Deal, and and the CFO and chairman is as Philip, who is Alex's dad. The letter referenced the Slack channel that Wu implied had embarrassing information about Deal, but was really a setup as part of the trap. Oh, okay. So they sent it. Bro, that's crazy that Rippling outed them so easy. Like, this was like within hours DS started searching the channel. Like, that is such a rookie spy mistake. So wonder what the message or that letter was like. Bro. Rippling said it obtained a court order last week forcing DS to turn over his phone. But when the court-appointed lawyer showed up at Rippling Dublin's office and demanded that the employee hand over the device, DS locked himself in a bathroom. He later fled the scene, it said. Yeah, bro, it's like just a lawyer. I mean, I don't know how the laws work, but like if a lawyer showed up and demanded something, I don't know. I feel like who's to say you can't ignore them? Rippling is playing hardball. Its lead lawyer on the lawsuit is Alex Spiro of Quinn, Emanuel, Urquhart, and Sullivan. Jesus. Known for representing Elon Musk, Jay-Z, Mayor Eric Adams of New York. Fuck. Need a court order. Yeah, I don't know how yeah, but it's like, bro, you just lock yourself in the bathroom. It's like, it's not like they're a cop. It's not like they could like break in and shit, you know? It's just like, don't open the door. Like, what are they gonna do? This was not an isolated act of misconduct. It was a deliberate act perpetrated for over 4 months, designed to steal and weaponize critical competitive data, the complaint reads. Contempt, technically. Yeah, you're just like, bro, I'm just taking a shit. Like, you don't understand? No, it's not contempt. I'm taking a shit. Like, I could open the bathroom, but it's gonna stink really bad. Up to judge what happens to them? Dang. It's crazy. Yeah, this is crazy. I need to start making a list of stories that I want to follow and like follow to like their end. I want to follow this one. I need to remember this. I'll throw it on move the tab over the other monitor. That was crazy though. This is crazy. Crazy. It's crazy that like I just can't believe that they fell for like the honey pot like so easily. Like, you'd think that that'd be obvious. Like, I'd be nervous that they'd be onto me for searching all that stuff. Okay, let's I want to do some GDC coverage and some Nvidia coverage. GTC. It doesn't look like GTC's like there's like anything right now. I was trying to look at gamedeveloper.com, but there's literally just like nothing. Games beat. Let's check this. In-world AI. Zynga teams with Fast and Furious for a year-long event. GGP. That like collegiate games announces collegiate games competition worth 90k in prizes. That's cool. AI driven simulation game seed. These are old. Okay, actually we'll take this. We'll take a look at this. This is actually an interesting idea from Discord. They launched an SDK, software development kit, usually just like an API or some sort of code that people could use in your own programs to help developers enhance their experiences in social games, or enhance social experiences in their games. But it seems like you could use your friends list on Discord in like games, and I think that's a cool idea. Instead of having like an entirely separate friends list just on Fortnite or whatever, or like Call of Duty, who is also notoriously like those like systems are like so annoying to like add friends to. It's like never straightforward. And I think that's a good idea for Discord, because like you could essentially now you're just renting out your friends list. Xbox Live. Yeah. No, that's a good that's good comparison. Because Xbox Live too, you could use it on computer, but it's just like Microsoft, you could use it in other, like Microsoft stuff. So I thought this was actually like not a bad release by Discord. Discord has permanent spot in most of our taskboards, but even those who have accepted the ubiquitous chat app into their lives may soon be using it as services directly in games they play or possibly already are. Live chat rooms. Bro, I forgot, like party chat and shit, like that was always crazy. And then like there's like, was it like limited spots? I don't know. I didn't play Xbox. I wasn't a big Xbox guy early on. Today the company is launching Discord Social SDK. It's free way for game developers to add friend list, voice and text chat, and other social features to their games, and it doesn't require players to have Discord accounts. Oh. 16 people max. I feel like it was always like competitive. Way too many. Yeah, it's like, especially with like back then, just like talking, just like everyone's talking over each other. Players who do link their Discord accounts, however, may get access to some convenient features, such as ability to directly invite Discord friends to a game lobby or continue an in-game chat in the Discord client. In a call with PC Gamer last week, Discord co-founder and CEO Stanislav Vichenevsky suggested MMO guild chats as one example of how integration can be used. Yeah, and like people already do this, so it's like giving you like the developers an option to like build it into your game, I think is cool. Pod parties are so cancer, literally. Your guild's chat room, available for both an in-game interface and the Discord client on your PC or phone. It might not benefit your IRL social life, but your bonds with your guildmates will presumably never be stronger. Unless, I mean, your IRL friends use it. A handful of game developers have already been working with the Discord SDK. The new Rust friends list incorporates it. For instance, other developers using SDK include Theorycraft Games, Supervive, never heard of that game, 1047 Games, Splitgate 2, Mainframe Ministries, PAX Day. Oh wow, I didn't realize this game was multiplayer. Elodie Games, Seekers of Sivo, and Tencent Games, a lot of things. The Discord social SDK is comparable to Epic's online services for another free friends list, chat, and matchmaking SDK. I think, yeah, Steam also has Steamworks API, but that only works on Steam, whereas Epic services work across stores and platforms. Oh, and I didn't know that, actually. Interesting. Yeah, and it's actually interesting now that like, Discord wants to kind of compete and come into that space. Discord's SDK is also cross-platform, but unlike Epic, Discord isn't running its own PC game store anymore, at least. Yeah, rip. So it's not side-eyeing Steam in the way Epic is. Developers can integrate more than one SDK into their games. We don't see ourselves as a competitor to Steam and Epic, says Vichinevsky. We see ourselves as an augment to the ecosystem that really raises all boats. Because at the end of the day, if people are getting into games easier, trying new games more easily, discovering more games through their friends, we lift all the boats. True. Good marketing. I can imagine Discord services becoming a popular main choice for small developers. It works across platforms, you get integration with gaming app, and has 200 million monthly active users, more than the Epic Game Store, and more than Steam. Even, dang, I didn't realize that. And players who don't want Discord account don't have to make one. I think that's also like, this is the one thing that's kind of like, okay, because if a game integrated the SDK and then that is their social, that's how you do social things in the game, and you had to have a Discord account, that would be annoying. But if you don't need a Discord account, then it's fine. I think it makes it okay, or at least better. Current Discord social SDK features include a unified in-game / Discord friends list, the ability to send invites and join games from Discord clients, and rich presence sharing of in-game activities in Discord. Cool. Features in beta, which are currently available to developers by request, are cross-platform messaging, link channels, like the example of a guild chat that is mirrored in-game and on Discord, and voice chat, which of course relies on Discord's existing voice chat infrastructure. Cool. I think this is cool. It'll be interesting to see how people use it. I have Discord's like development stuff is actually crazy. Like you could kind of actually do a lot. A lot in it. And I kind of, been thinking I used to like, or was like really into the Discord bots, but I haven't really like messed around with that. And it kind of, now it's like vibe coding and AI. It's like makes it pretty easy to be able to make one. There's just not much GDC coverage yet, unfortunately. What? Okay, let's look at this. I want to watch some game trailers too. Because I was hoping that there'd be a lot of game trailers coming out with GDC, but I guess it's more like industry. Knights of the Old Republic return. Remake returns for annual tradition of reminding you it's still alive, but no, you can't hear anything more until we come back next year to say it again. This is a PlayStation showcase? It was that? Entire 4 years since then, falling down the stairs and smashing every step along the way. Dang. %92% of Nvidia users turn on DLSS if they've been lucky enough to bag an RTX 50 series card at launch and have the Nvidia app installed. 60% of the time it works every time. Exactly. I don't know. I don't like DLSS at all. Okay. Bro, it's like you could tell they're owned by the same company. It's like these websites are like the same. I didn't even realize Games Radar is like literally the same as PC gaming. What the fuck? All right. Guess there's not that much coverage here. In-world AI. In-world AI. Let's just look at their website. Real-time AI ready for scaled production. Driven audience engagement seamlessly on the AI agents with client-side logic and local model interface. In-world AI brings your AI stack in-house. Interesting. Oh. This is dumb. Like, I wonder licensing. They have 80 employees. Are these people making money? They're hiring a lot of people. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, here we go. Okay, we got some coverage. Our boy Kyle. Yeah, we're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch this tomorrow, 9:40 a.m. Says many of the live stream. Many of the talks gonna be live stream, but I don't see any. Check out Nvidia's. Oh, nothing upcoming. Nvidia GTC. Nothing yet. Oh, I love acquired. Yeah, how do we see these upcoming streams? I swear that's what I was trying to look for. Go to live. This is GDC 2024. We see upcoming streams. It's not. Okay. All right, I guess let's look at a speculative video and then we'll might jump over to a game then. Play some games. Oh yeah, I did want to see if there's any game trailers. looks interesting, actually. Well, maybe we'll just watch some videos. Okay.
Wang set to speak tomorrow. How might the announcements impact the broader tech landscape? Our Christina Partsinevelos has more on that. Christina.
The market is closely watching and positive, like your guest just said, Jensen Huang's keynote at Nvidia's GTC event, but not just for Nvidia news. It's the ripple effects across tech that matter. So strategists are expecting Jensen to unveil Ethernet and InfiniBand switch technology, specifically with co-packaged optics. It does get technical, but you're going to hear that often tomorrow, CPOs. And this could really spell trouble for traditional transceiver makers like Lumentum and
Doesn't Nvidia already make that though?
Coherent. You can see today they're trading higher, but they've been just negative on the year. Nvidia's chip packaging approach might also upend the pluggable optics market, and that's where Marvell plays. And that's why we're seeing investors, aside from today, place bearish bets on Marvell, Light, and Coherent ahead of GTC. On the networking side, watch out for Spectrum-X portfolio updates coming from Nvidia. Potentially bad news for Arista Networks, since their switches compete directly with Spectrum-X. You can see Arista's higher today, but keep an eye on Fabrinet. Negative, though they could emerge as a supplier winner for Nvidia, so that's a name that might see some movement. There's been some market buzz also suggesting Supermicro Computer. We know it's incredibly volatile over the last little while. We'll be putting together Nvidia's new rack systems, and also that Nvidia may use a higher quality memory for its next generation Rubin architecture, which could impact Micron shares. So the smart money isn't just watching Nvidia's stock move, which many say is range bound. I know Mike, you've talked about that, but it's tracking how Jensen's announcement could really reshape the entire tech ecosystem in 1 2-hour keynote, guys.
I doubt it. I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. The InfiniBand stuff is like cool and interesting, I guess, but it's definitely more like not really consumer focused. It's definitely just way behind. It's like more behind the scenes. Let's see this. I'm still waiting. I've honestly been kind of over I use Obsidian. But I want something that is easier for AI to maybe interact with, I guess. I don't know. I guess like I just want something. I really like Kanban boards. I wish there's a better Kanban integration in Obsidian. I wish the canvas was better. I really like Canvas. Figma Canvas is so good. I literally was been booting it up again. I wish Figma Canvas would spin off into its own separate piece of software. This seems like a seems more like a bookmarking type of thing. Which there's been a lot of like AI bookmarking kind of startup software come up.
Imagine all your knowledge in one place with an assistant knowing everything you saved, an assistant that can research for you, answer complex questions, write reports, or just brainstorm. Sounds cool, right? Add content from your browser.
It's cool, right?
Mobile app to build your smart library. Connect everything in one place. Sync Google, Dropbox, Slack, and more to streamline your workflow. Dropbox,
Confluence.
Slack, and more to streamline your workflow. Empower professional assistants and research seamlessly across.
See, this seems like it's trying to do too much. Like, I don't. What is it?
More to streamline your workflow. Empower professional assistants and
Web lawyer. This is interesting.
research Set up intelligent agents to simplify your workflow.
But this is already, I'm over cloud-based note-taking solutions. It has to be local. I'm tired of like mainly Notion. Like if you want to leave the platform, like your data is just stuck there.
Sources, manage privacy, and enable effortless team collaboration. Create a collaborative knowledge with team assistants to search and deliver actionable insights. Transform how you connect the dots and write with the AI editor.
Oh, I didn't even realize that this is cut off, but whatever.
Draft, organize, and optimize.
It's actually really not, though.
Seamlessly integrated into your personal and team knowledge.
Yeah, no, this is whatever. Okay, let's look at some game trailers and then we'll play some games ourselves. Where? Let's look up game. Bro, this just came up. The whole live action Disney just making every movie a live action is I hate that. I don't know. Red Zone. Okay, let's look at IGN. Oh, Ether and Iron. We actually I linked that the other day. Forest Rains. Wall World. These are all like have these like movies. Missile Command Delta. This seems cool. This one also seems neat. Oh yeah, they must upload them. Like, there's been a bunch uploaded. Ghost Sector looks neat. Preacher Keeper. These all kind of look basic. Star Vortex. Like a idle game. Age of Empires Mobile. Let's watch that because I like Age of Empires. Curious to see what it'll be like. Outlawed. Pokemon Unite. Is that the MMO? Dread Haunt. Dune Awakening. Half-Life VR. Star Wars Unlimited? Not seen that. Okay, let's look at some of these. Throne and Bone. Future Vibe Check. Published by Atari. I have so many windows open. It seems like Among Us. I love this aesthetic. Okay, so this was an old game, I guess? I don't know. I mean, that was just kind of whatever. Dread Zone. Upcoming survival game set in a deadly quarantine zone. Looks pretty basic. It's actually worse. I mean, like, this looks nice, but also it literally could just be like copy paste assets. Like, I don't know. It just kind of looks basic.
Citizens of Aurorium, in the face of the Urslan threat, we shall not cower. We will build and thrive. Our strength begins here. Within our
Literally, that was 4K, but like, it literally looks so bad.
we will forge the foundation of a prosperous future. Gather resources, fortify defenses, and expand our state. Each brick laid is a testament to our resolve. But construction alone will not ensure our survival. The state empowers you to nurture residents, ensuring their contributions strengthen our cause. Raise them and watch as they transform into the backbone.
What is this game?
Explore uncharted systems, forge alliances, and uncover treasures that will bolster our fight. Engage the enemy in glorious roguelike battles where each encounter is a test of your mettle. Citizens, stand resolute. Build and fight for humanity's future. All hail the state.
What was that game? Okay. Very dramatic. Okay. Ghost Sector. Look it up. Ghost Sector. Survival horror game where you play as Enzo, a prototype machine trapped in a cybernetic facility during lockdown, out with automated defenses, search for puzzles. Looks cool. Yeah, it's definitely very cyberpunk. Looks very cyberpunk. Is there any... I kind of want to look for... I was going to look for some games to play, or like get to play on stream. I think I'm going to do System Shock. I want to play System Shock. I've never played that. Not sure what else. I want to play through some like sci-fi games that I just never really played for. Played for. These are just all cheap games. This Bowling Air looks fun. Okay. Star Vortex. Okay, this looks interesting. When I this kind of like a, there's a lot of space games with this kind of aesthetic and like style, kind of like physics-based flying kind of thing. Looks a little basic. Sorry. Age of Empires Mobile.
On a battlefield ablaze with fire and blood. Foes of today may be allies of tomorrow. While allies of today become your greatest foe. Each decision holds the weight of existence. Each battalion may tip the scales. In the midst of this turmoil, mercenaries rise. Driven by the lure of wealth and dominance.
I want to see gameplay.
Not honor,
This just says official mercenary trailer.
as a saving grace, or the ruthless force that turns the tide.
My own stream is coming up as suggested. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't really realize making a mobile game, although that wasn't really a good trailer. Check out PlayStation, then we'll look at Xbox, and then we'll play a game, probably. Hero's Hour. This one looks familiar. Oh, RoboQuest. I was actually thinking about getting this game because it seems like a fun, like, roguelite. Farming sim. These are all kind of whatever. I don't even own PlayStation, so. Let's watch this though, because I feel like I've heard of this game. Music is good. Is this like an auto battler? Was it called Heroes Hour? Heroes Hour. Oh, it's on my wish list. Oh, it must have just come out on PlayStation. Yeah, I was like, it came out in 2022. There's like DLC and everything. Sandwalkers. This bundle actually looks pretty good. All these are on my wish list too. Early access. What is this game? Terraformers? This looks neat. I don't know. Exogate? I've never heard of this game. Interesting. Okay, let's play a game. Now the question is, what should we play? I'm thinking Risk of Rain 2. Risk of Rain 2, Minecraft. I kind of just want to play Risk of Rain 2, honestly. I've really been enjoying that. It's unfortunate that not that many people watch the game. That's kind of the problem I've been having now, is that a lot of people don't watch kind of games that people watch. I do want to do a System Shock playthrough, but I think that's going to be like a Thursday, Friday game or something. Thursday, Friday. Like a fixed day. Every week we'll play some of it. I don't know how long it takes to beat. How long does System take to beat? There's like a website, I swear. How long to beat? $33 hours? Oh, bro, we could finish this in like a few weeks. DRM free, fuck yeah. Latest now playing. I also kind of want to do a run of some modded game. Horror game? No. Sorry. System Shock is the horrorist I'm gonna get. Horrorist. I think a modded playthrough of some sort of game would be fun. Even like Skyrim, just something I don't play often. Yeah. But okay, I'm gonna end on YouTube, and we'll be on Twitch. Twitch for gaming. So if you see my ad for my little, the bottom right, over here, watching on YouTube, over to Twitch. Yeah, okay, come over to Twitch. We're gonna do some gaming for an hour or two. And yeah, but we'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, for news over on YouTube. Continuing that. So thanks everyone on YouTube for watching today. Yeah, come over to YouTube for some gaming. All right, see you.